Hello, welcome to another video. It has been a while since the last one. I feel like that's now my new intro, is just hello, welcome, and it's been a while. I didn't intend for it to be this long, but hey, that's what happens. It is the holiday season in full swing, and as I've said before, I work retail, so I have basically been living inside of the store that I work in, and it's been hell. So yeah, it's kind of been hard to make time to do anything else other than that, since I've been working like 11-hour days the past like 3-4 days. So yeah, I'm tired of it, and tomorrow I have to go back, and it's gonna be another long day. I have to be there at like 5 a.m. So anyways, that is not related directly to this, I guess. But hey, I have a new plan for my videos. That sounds really official and weird, but I had this idea in a way to motivate me a bit more to make videos. It's not that I don't enjoy making them, it's just that sometimes I feel like I've run out of ideas and I don't exactly know what to do, and I don't want to just make the same thing every time. Obviously I have a certain style and way I make things, but it doesn't mean that I make the same building every time, if that makes sense. I don't know, whatever. But my idea was to make a floor plan, like a real floor plan from every year. And that sounds really ambitious, and it's not like I've gone and collected every single year, like a floor plan for every year yet, but I have started to, and it's made me a lot more invested in trying to make these videos. So the first one here is a 1900 house, theoretically. I will be honest here. So it is hard to find floor plans that you are for sure certain are from 1900. Especially when my medium for finding them is the internet. People lie on the internet. So I found it on archive.org. It was labeled as circa 1900. So that means anywhere around 1900. And at that point, in trying to find a house that I could build in The Sims from 1900, I just took that. I just accepted that as the closest I could get. So this may or may not be from exactly 1900, but whatever. No, I have not found a house for 1901, but we'll get there. So obviously the goal of mine is to make this a regular thing and try to do this weekly, but again, I am starting this in the thick of the holiday season, so I'm not really sure how that's going to happen, but we'll see. I'm trying to have better habits. I'm trying to take care of myself more and listen to myself, and if that means sitting down and making a video even though I feel like crap, because I know I need to get myself out of the funk, then that's what's gonna happen. So yeah, that's what this house is. And this one I picked primarily because obviously I found it and it said 1900, whatever, but also just because I think it's a very interesting house, and I can picture seeing it nowadays, just driving by and you see this giant old house and you're like, holy crap, how amazing. At least that's how I feel. But I just thought it looked really cool. So, and it's an interesting floor plan. And there are some little red flags to me that maybe it's not 1900, but whatever. And originally I was going for a very dark theme, and I don't know why. It especially looks bad in this Strangerville setting, which is extremely bright and orange. And I don't know why I built here. I think I just needed a lot and it was an open one. But when I took screenshots and stuff, I had placed it in Willowbrook. You know I don't know the names of these places. I can't remember them ever. So, the main town, the first one, it's there where I always take the pictures. But it is sort of oh my God, I was about to say it is sort of a 1900 house. Obviously it is. No, it's sort of Victorian, sort of arts and crafts. I figured in that time period, there was a transition, so to speak, in styles, in popularity of styles, and arts and crafts was definitely rising up as, or was already, I can't remember, whatever, the exact dates are hard to remember, but I know that at this time arts and crafts was a lot more popular, or gaining a lot more popularity than the very ornate Victorian style. So this is sort of a mesh between them. And yeah, once we get into 20s and all that, you'll see more arts and crafts style houses, and I have no idea what the 1910s will bring. I do have quite a few like of early 1900. I just don't have 1901, and so that's kind of stressing me out right now as far as floor plans go. But yeah, I hope this is interesting to people. To me it is, but it's more so a challenge for myself just to kind of be able to do it. Obviously, that's a lot of videos. That's a lot of houses. That's a lot of things for me to do. But it's kind of, I think it's interesting, and it gives me a bit more of a purpose for my channel rather than just being another person who does speed builds. I feel like it can be seen as that sometimes from an outsider who doesn't actually watch my videos. So I feel like this sparks it up a little bit, and that could just be in my imagination, but you know, whatever. This is what we're doing. This is my channel. This is the thing. So last video, I had a whole bunch of notes about like what I wanted to talk about, and had essentially given myself a script, mainly because I was so scatterbrained and just couldn't figure out what I wanted to say. Sorry if I ramble a bit more. I'm just kind of excited to be done with this video. It's just taken a while. It's taken a couple weeks to really be able to find the time to finish it. So yeah. Another thing I wanted to mention with this is that I did try to decorate a bit less than I normally do. I kind of feel like I started to over decorate at some point and just go for this very what's the word, like cluttered sort of aesthetic, which I do still like, and I probably will continue to do, but I think I was doing it a bit much, and that's partially why all of my builds on the interior started to look very similar, and I was just noticing that about myself and not really liking it. So I'm trying, and especially with doing a video for every year, I'm going to try to decorate a little bit less and kind of just do it to enough degree to where you get the vibe of what sort of time period we are in. And you know, it's never exact. It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be fully true to that time period, just because this is a game and they're not making perfectly period pieces. So neither can I. And I don't use CC for my builds, so obviously that's out of the question. And another thing with my CC, in this video, I hadn't done it yet, but today, in real life today, I actually went through and deleted a whole bunch. Like I think I deleted all the build CC, most of it at least, and I haven't had that, what is it called? Like Amoeba red shelf thing. I haven't had that installed either, just because it was like not working since university. So I've been a little soured towards mods, which is a very short-lived thing, but I think I just like The Sims 4 without mods more than I like it with mods. I think either it's that I've been playing it too long without mods, and I mean in the sense of like, you know, custom content stuff, not like the Red Shelf mod or like MC Command Center. Those I do feel like are very useful, and I want to keep them in my game. But things like, you know, object items and that sort of thing, I just kind of don't think they mesh well with the original aesthetic of the game. So I've taken, I think, all of them out at this point, but I've left all my like CAS Create a Sim items, which is fine to me because it's just how the Sims look, which I always want more options with how the Sims look, so it's fine. that's, you know, you'll see less custom content now in all my crap, but you still won't see it in the build, so it doesn't really matter for you, but I felt like I needed to mention it. So, okay, there it is. There's a lot of cutting in this video also, like where you're suddenly seeing things are changed and different. And that's just because I had gone into this video multiple times and had different ideas. So, you know, at first I thought I wanted this really dark, black, massive house. And then I was like, no, in the 1900s with arts and crafts, it wouldn't have been black necessarily. It most likely would have just been natural wood grain with a nice maybe dark stain over it or making it glossy, that type of thing. They loved to use wood and brick and that sort of stuff in this time period because it was things that they could make. It looked very handmade and was celebrating craftsmanship and all of that. So I definitely decided in the end to emphasize the wooden aspect of the house. So pretty much everything becomes brown. And I'm sorry if you don't like that. That's how it is. If you go into a lot of houses in this time period, it is a lot of wood. And I don't know if it's just because in that time, everybody could get it. I don't know. Was it cheap? I have no idea. So, okay. It's just a lot of wood in this house. I just wanted to point that out. Also, originally, there's only one bathroom in this house, and it's on the second floor. So if that isn't a sign of the times, I did add a second one into the basement. Also, this trick is really cool that I first figured out, like you witness it there. That's me figuring out that I could do that. That's just one of those weird little buffet side table things that I never really use, but you can make it look like your sink is a corner sink. It almost looks like it's built in, like it's as close as we can get. So I think that's a really cool trick there that I don't think I've seen anybody use. And if you make it small enough, it doesn't stick through any of the walls around it, which is really nice. I also wanted to put this dresser in the bathroom just because I felt like in this time period, there probably would have been a lot of wooden built-ins in the bathroom. That's something that was really popular for a very long time and only really fell out of the popularity, I want to say, in more like the 80s and 70s probably. But I didn't want to go crazy with a lot of cabinetry, like kitchen cabinetry in there, so I just put that dresser and I thought it looked really cool. Kind of just, I don't know, like farmhousey in a way. A lot of this house sort of turned out to be farmhouse sort of style. There's a lot of plaid, and I ended up using quilts on the beds and things like that. And I don't know why, that's just what happened. Like 1900s, I think my brain just goes to, it's a farmhouse, even though it's clearly not a farmhouse, but sorry, that's what happens. And also, obviously, this house is pretty big. There's like 5 bedrooms, and clearly I made one of them into, the smallest one into like a office, I guess. But the rest of the 4 are all just bedrooms. And they all kind of look the same. I made them sort of generic so that, you know, if you wanted to just move in, you could and add your own stuff, or you could completely tear it all out. It's totally up to you. I think I've definitely said before, I don't care what you do to these houses. Like if you remake them completely, that's really cool. I would love to see that. If somebody ever did that, that'd be really neat. So please send them to me if you do. But I also just try to give them a style that makes it very evocative of the time period. So hence my styling here. But like I said before, there's a lot less decoration than I would normally do. Normally everything's very cluttered. That's just how I like to do it. So this is kind of plain for me. But I did make sure to use a lot of the new university items. You may be expecting me to be doing some sort of university related speed build, but I don't think I'm going to. I actually don't mind the majority of the buildings that came with university. I think they actually did a decent job this time around. And I even like that one weird white house in Brightchester that I know like a lot of people hate. So I think that one's really cool because it looks very like old ancient like English or whatever. And I think they did a decent job of actually trying to make something that looks historically accurate. So that's really cool. in my opinion. Some people don't like it, but I think it's cool, obviously, because this is my jam. This is my thing. Also, I used radiators in every room for like the first time. And I think it's interesting. Even though they don't work, I really wish they could add that as something that worked with seasons to heat up a room instead of just having a thermostat, because then all of my houses that I make would have that heating element, instead of me having to add in a very new looking thermostat. So that kind of sucks. I mean, they use like the fireplaces, I guess, in a similar way, but it's not quite the same. Like you have to go to a fireplace and warm yourself up to feel better from being cold. I wish it would just be like, oh, you walk into a room with a fireplace that's on and suddenly your sim is very warm and cozy, but that's not how it works, so whatever. Also, I added a basement here. They didn't have any plans for the basement, but there were stairs going down to one. It was most likely just some sort of cellar, but I made it a basement that looks like it was redone in like the 60s or 70s. I don't know how else to make a basement. That's what basements look like, right? I don't know. Like I've said a million times, I'm from California. I don't know what a basement looks like. I've never been inside of one. So unless it was in like a giant building, like a university building, you know, they have basements there that are like the library. That's not the same as a house basement. But you catch my drift. Yeah, this kind of just became like a gathering spot. I feel like that's where the family who lives here would probably be a lot of the time, just because the main floor, as is the case for a lot of old homes, is kind of the entertaining floor. It's where your giant dining room is and where all your nice furniture is. You live upstairs, like you sleep upstairs, and then you really like party or act normal downstairs. Maybe not party, you act normal downstairs. So that's the jive with this house. The jive? The mood? I don't know. So here's screenshots. I kind of zoomed through them because there's a lot of rooms in this house, but it's a really nice house in the end. I feel like I really like it. I'm really proud of it. So stay tuned for 1901. We'll see what that house is. It'll be a surprise to me too. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a like if you want to. And if you want to comment, that'd be cool too. If you want to subscribe, that'd be extra cool. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day, great week, great forever, everything. Goodbye.